Dick Van Dyke's name is woven into the fabric of American television and cinema. For more than 7 decades, he didn't simply entertain audiences, he healed them. His laughter, charm, and energy offered solace during times of hardship, reminding the world of the joy that exists even in sorrow. From his earliest television appearances to iconic films, he became a comforting presence, the familiar smile millions welcomed into their homes. Beyond the roles and accolades, he offered a sense of safety and warmth, a human connection that transcended screens and stages, turning performance into personal reassurance for generations. Childhood shadows. Born in 1925 in Danville, Illinois, Dick Van Dyke's early years were shaped by absence rather than affection. His father, a traveling salesman, was rarely home, while his mother labored long hours as a stenographer to support the family. In a house dominated by silence, young Dick learned early to conceal his own pain, developing humor as both shield and survival. Choir and drama became temporary escapes, places where he could feel seen. Yet, even these brief reprieves couldn't erase the loneliness he carried. Those formative years instilled both longing and resilience, quietly laying the foundation for a lifetime of bringing joy to others. The power of laughter. For Dick, laughter was never merely entertainment. It was a coping mechanism. "I was always trying to make people laugh," he later admitted. "Maybe because I didn't want them to see how I really felt." His humor was armor, shielding vulnerability while fostering connection. This instinct to uplift others, born from his own childhood deprivation, became central to his identity. Each smile he prompted in others was a reflection of his desire for understanding and acceptance. Over time, this ability to transform personal grief into collective joy became his signature, allowing audiences to feel less alone and proving that true comedy carries the power to heal. Early dreams and hesitations. At school, Van Dyke gravitated toward choir and drama, yet even there, his shyness often made him feel like an outsider. For a brief period, he considered the ministry, hoping to offer compassion and guidance to others. These early interests reveal a recurring theme, an urge to connect, to provide comfort, and to find a purpose that transcended personal struggle. Though uncertain of his worth, he persisted, exploring different paths to express himself. These formative hesitations and experiments taught him that perseverance wasn't about instant success, but about showing up again and again, even when the outcome remained uncertain. Radio beginnings. Dick Van Dyke's first professional break came in the late 1940s as a radio DJ at WDN in Danville. Alone in a booth, speaking to an unseen audience, he discovered the intimate power of voice and timing. Here, he practiced connecting with strangers, refining the skills that would later define his stage and screen presence. This period of obscurity taught patience, humility, and persistence, proving that visibility was secondary to meaningful communication. Even then, the work wasn't glamorous or lucrative, but it was transformative, allowing him to build confidence slowly, preparing him for the broader spotlight that would eventually recognize the depth and charm he carried. Personal loss and grief. Despite professional success, Van Dyke faced profound personal tragedy. The death of his granddaughter from Reyes syndrome left him in a silence deeper than any stage could fill. Layers of grief compounded with earlier struggles, including a period of alcoholism and a painful affair that ended his marriage to Margie. Yet he chose honesty, confession, and eventual reconciliation. These personal battles were as defining as any role he played on screen. The courage to confront shame and rebuild relationships reflected a resilience beyond performance, a private heroism that mirrored the generosity and sincerity he shared publicly. The man behind the smile, Dick Van Dyke's public persona of joy belied complex inner battles. Behind the warmth, there were scars of loneliness, addiction, and grief. Yet he never allowed these shadows to define him externally. His strength was quiet, expressed through persistence, connection, and the desire to bring laughter to others. He transformed personal pain into shared happiness, proving that vulnerability and strength can coexist. This delicate balance between suffering and joy became his hallmark. It is why audiences connected so deeply, not just to his performances, but to the authenticity behind them, the sense that his laughter was hard-earned and genuinely heartfelt. Love and companionship. In later years, Van Dyke found peace and love with Arlene Silver, 46 years his junior. Their partnership, often scrutinized, became a testament to genuine connection that transcends convention. Together, they embraced simple joys, shared meals, music, laughter echoing through their Malibu home. This chapter of life emphasized that true companionship is a source of strength, healing, and joy. Silver became both anchor and partner, offering stability that enriched his twilight years. Their relationship highlights that the narrative of a life well lived encompasses love, growth, and resilience, and that happiness often blooms when shared with someone who understands, supports, and accepts fully. Maintaining body and spirit. Even into his late 90s, Van Dyke remained physically active, practicing yoga, stretching, and maintaining independence. These rituals were less about vanity than freedom. The ability to move, stand, and engage with life fully. Simple pleasures, like his nightly indulgence of vanilla ice cream with chocolate drizzle, became symbolic reminders of delight amid routine. Physical well-being supported emotional resilience, allowing him to continue sharing laughter and connection. This dedication to mind and body illustrates a holistic approach to longevity, one rooted in the understanding that independence, health, and joy are intertwined, and that small rituals can sustain vitality and spirit. Later, career highlights. Van Dyke's career continued into the 2020s, with appearances on shows like The Masked Singer and in Coldplay's All My Love music video, proving that talent and charisma endure. His forthcoming memoir, 100 Rules for Living to 100, promises lessons drawn from decades of life, emphasizing laughter, perseverance, and kindness. Awards and accolades. Emmys, a Tony, a Grammy, and the National Medal of Arts acknowledge his skill, but his greatest legacy lies in the comfort and joy he provided. Time and fame did not diminish the simplicity and sincerity that defined him, highlighting a career rooted not in ego, but in genuine human connection. Legacy of joy beyond trophies and titles. Van Dyke's legacy is the emotional imprint he leaves on millions. He taught that comedy could be kindness, that laughter could be courage, and that generosity could be performed in small, quiet gestures. His influence extended beyond the stage, touching everyday life through smiles, memories, and reassurance. Audiences remember not only his humor, but the feeling of safety he imparted. In a world often hardened by cynicism, his work remained gentle, uplifting, and restorative, a reminder that artistry can transcend entertainment, becoming a source of comfort, inspiration, and enduring human connection. Embracing life's twilight now, approaching a century of life, Van Dyke greets each day with curiosity, humor, and gratitude. Even as his body signals its limits, he continues to live intentionally, surrounded by love and sustained by routines that honor both mind and spirit. His story illustrates that resilience is not measured by fame or wealth, but by the ability to endure suffering, embrace joy, and give freely of oneself. In every laugh, step, and spark of recognition, he carries decades of hardship transformed into warmth. His life stands as proof that strength, kindness, and joy are enduring, and that a soul committed to living fully leaves a legacy brighter than any accolade. Conclusion: the glow of a life well lived. Dick Van Dyke's life is a testament to resilience, humor, and grace. From childhood loneliness to decades of laughter shared on stage and screen, he turned personal suffering into a gift for others. Every performance, every smile, every quiet act of connection carried the weight of experience and the light of endurance. His story reminds us that true greatness is measured not by fame, but by the hearts we touch. Even as the curtain falls on the public chapters of his life, his influence glows, a lasting echo of joy, kindness, and the courage to dance through life's storms.